right, UFC 307 has just ended. I'm going to be going over my full card breakdown and reaction to every fight on the card. Starting off with the very first fight of the card, Court McGee versus Tim Means. Not going to say I was shocked, but I was a little surprised. I know during the broadcast they were talking about how Court McGee had just gotten some type of surgery in his back, and maybe that was helping him able to fight better. I don't know 100%. I did notice that Court, which he usually doesn't, so it's surprising I'm saying this, he looked better on the feet. He looked like cleaner, crisper striking. And Tim looked really slow out there. I know he's was either 40 or 41 years old. So, what can you expect from a 40-year-old? But I don't know. He just didn't look right. But he secures it was a rear naked choke in the very first round. What can you say? That's his hometown, I believe, so good for him to get the win. Moving on up the card, we have Carla Esparza versus Tisha Pennington. So this was Esparza's last fight. Retired in the cage. They had a whole video and everything for her. First round, I thought Tisha Pennington was doing good, winning the exchanges on the feet. Then she got taken down about halfway through the first round, so I definitely gave Esparza the first round. I did think she landed the better shots at the first round. But again, with all that control time, she wasn't doing tons of ground and pound, but she was doing a little bit, enough to win her the round. And then in rounds 2 and 3, pretty much, Pennington was just landing the better shots, was able to keep it up on the feet. I believe the end of the third round, she briefly got taken down, but it was a really close fight. I had rounds 2 and 3 for Pennington, so there seemed to be some controversy over that fight, but I thought it was a pretty clear 29-28 Pennington, rounds 2 and 3. Didn't really care for it that much, but moving up the card. Ryan Spann versus Ovince St. Preux. This is a good fight. Ryan Spann definitely needed to finish OSP and not just get a boring decision. I swear after every fight, he wins. Ryan Spann's like, I'm taking this so seriously now. I've been training. Everything's on point. All my fights, I'm taking everything seriously from now on. And then he'll lose a fight, and I'm like, oh, I wasn't taking it serious. So he's taking fighting seriously now, or so he says. Pretty much, OSP, he gets a nut shot, and then right after the nut shot, OSP hits him with a good shot. He gets hit with a good shot. I apologize for that. And then OSP goes for a takedown. Spann locks up the guillotine, and he kind of ends up with a mounted guillotine in the end and gets the tap. What can you say? OSP's 41 years old. Spann's 32 or 33. Like I said, if he ever wants to, get back into that top 15, he's going to need to be destroying these lower level, older guys. Moving on up the card. Oh, this fight. Cesar Almeida versus Ihor Potierio. This fight was something else. I feel bad for Potierio. I really do. Round 1, they're kind of trading back and forth. Both of them are landing good shots. Almeida's landing some good shots to the body. Ihor Potierio shoots a couple takedowns. He does get one towards the end of the round. Almeida gets back up, and I felt Almeida landed the better shots of the first round, so I gave Almeida the first round pretty clearly. Round 2 and 3, I can't remember the name of this ref. Whoever this ref was needs fired. I've never seen him before when they've been to Utah, so I hope, I hate for people to lose their jobs, but it was some pretty bad reffing. I think there was 4 Almeida poked Potierio in the eye, 4 separate occasions, and only on 2 of them did the ref stop the fight and give him a timeout and let him recover. And he had an unanswered nut shot as well. Almeida, and they showed it in the replay. Almeida hit him in the nuts. The ref didn't see it, didn't stop it, and then within 10 seconds he eye poked him, and he did see that and stopped it for the eye poke. He didn't take a point. He just kept warning him. Watch your fingers, watch your fingers, watch your fingers. I can understand if it happened maybe like 1 or 2 times. Maybe. Happens once, warn him, happens again, say if you do it again, I'm taking a point away. Because what Almeida was doing was he was using his hands, posting his hands out to gauge distance and to keep Pereira back. I honestly, I think I said in my early predictions that Pereira was going to lose and then he'd probably get cut from the UFC. I think he's like 2-5. I feel so bad for him. They need to give him a more favorable matchup in his next fight. I feel terrible for him. He got outrageously fouled several times in this fight. They didn't even take a point away. I scored at 30-27. That's how he won. Unanimous decision. Everyone scored at 30-27. I mean, if you're just going to keep poking people in the eye like that, why wouldn't you do it if they're not going to take points away? Anyway, moving up. Alexander Hernandez versus Austin Hubbard. Now, when I did my tape research for this fight, I did the tape research and I picked Alexander Hernandez via decision. But when I went to go do my early predictions video, this fight was not on the UFC website. So I thought it was canceled. I put it in the comments what my prediction was. It was Alexander Hernandez via decision, and that's what ended up happening. Pretty much, most of the rounds you had Austin Hubbard pressuring a lot, and Hernandez landing the better of the shots. Definitely in the first round. I scored the first round for Hernandez. I thought it was pretty clear. Hubbard was pressuring quite a bit, but Hernandez was finding the cleaner, more effective strikes in that first round. Second round, Hernandez comes out. He's looking really good. Hubbard shoots takedowns, doesn't really get him, and Hernandez is continuing to land the good shots. So I gave that round 1 and 2 for Alexander Hernandez, landing the better shots on the feet, stuffing the takedowns. Round 3, I believe Hubbard's corner told him that he was down. He needed to finish. So he's come out of this third round, he's looking like he's a man on a mission, like, I need to finish this fight. He was coming out really strong. I thought Hubbard landed the better shots, clipped Hernandez several times, hurt him. So I gave the last round to Austin Hubbard. This is a split decision, and again, this is another fight. There was a lot of weird scorecards and a lot of people, controversial stuff going on. I thought this was a clear 29-28 decision for Alexander Hernandez. I mean, yeah, the first round was close, but I thought he clearly landed the better strikes. So, I don't know. There was several on this card that were questionable, to say the least. Moving up on the card, I did not get to watch this fight. So, I saw a few clips of it online, and I was listening to somebody else live stream kind of announcing it. So I don't really know too much about it. From the sounds of it, a lot of people were saying, I saw some people online saying it was kind of a robbery. So maybe I'll go back and watch it. Doubt it. But I wasn't really too excited for this fight. Got my pick wrong, but I saw a lot of people online again. Like I said, a lot of people online were saying that it was, borderline could have went to Rodriguez. So maybe I'll go back and watch it, but I doubt it because I was not really too excited for this fight. Moving up. This is a hard one. Stephen Thompson versus Joaquin Buckley. Man, I really wanted Thompson to win. Buckley was doing... Now, in my early predictions, I was saying Buckley wasn't stupid in the fact that he will use the grappling to win this fight. Now, he ended up not needing it to win this fight. He got the knockout in the third round. And also in my predictions, which I got correctly, I said Wonderboy is only getting out-grappled by elite-level grapplers and being held down. Buckley, every time he would get Wonderboy down, he would get back up. It's not like he was able to get him down and hold him there. He would get back up every time that he would get taken down. First round, Buckley's trying to get the takedowns. He's not able to get them. And like I said, if he is, Wonderboy's getting right back up. And Wonderboy was landing better shots around 1. So I gave Wonderboy round 1, 10-9. Go to the second, Buckley's doing the same thing. He's trying to get these takedowns. He's having a little bit more success on the feet than Wonderboy, but not by much. So I gave the second round to Buckley. It was a pretty close round. Essentially, Buckley was trying to do the same thing. Rounds 1 and 2. Found more success in 2 than he did in 1. Going into the third round, I don't know if his corner told him something, but he looked like he was like hunting for the finish. And you could tell. He was bobbing and weaving and throwing these big power shots. And he did find a big overhand right and knocked Stephen Thompson out. Now, when I saw a fan did a recording and put it up on X, that knockout looks even worse than it did on the broadcast. On the broadcast, it kind of looked like he dropped him and then Wonderboy just shelled up. The angle on the video I saw online of the fan that was there live, I'm pretty sure that flash KO'd Wonderboy and he woke up when he hit the ground. So that's the second time he's ever been KO'd. He's 41 years old. Probably needs to, the UFC just needs to, let him retire, release him from his contract, and let him go fight in, karate combat or something like that. That'd be perfect for him. He doesn't have to worry about grappling or takedowns, really. Very, minorly. So that was definitely sad to see Wonderboy get knocked out. Honestly, Buckley calls out Usman in his post-fight interview. That would be a good matchup. That would be a close fight because Usman's old, on a 3-fight losing streak. He's got good power. He's got good wrestling. Buckley has decent grappling. He's not a complete scrub in the grappling. I don't know. That would be a good fight. That for sure is a good fight. It's an up-and-coming guy. If Usman wants to get back to the title, he needs to get a win, at least one win. Minimum one win. And I think if you get a win over Buckley, you could maybe get him back into the title discussion, even though there's a lot going on in the welterweight division right now. You have Shavkat, you got Ian Gary, you got Buckley, you got Sean Brady, you got a lot of guys, Jack Della Maddalena, that's 5 people up and coming in the welterweight division. So a lot going on in the welterweight division. Moving on. Ketlen Vieira versus Kayla Harrison. This was a decent fight. Round 1, they're both going back and forth, trading on the feet. Kayla does get her down. I believe it was minute 30-ish left on the clock. Doesn't really, she does some ground and pound, lands some good elbows. And, I scored the first round for Kayla Harrison, pretty obviously. Round 2, they weren't really doing a whole lot. Both kind of pitter-patter shots back and forth. And then about the 2-minute mark, Kayla goes for some takedowns, and they both land some elbows. Ketlen Vieira lands a good elbow on Kayla Harrison's right above her eye, and she has a big hematoma on her eye, right above it. But I still think, that was the one shot she landed that round. Kayla definitely landed the better shots in that round. I still scored that round for Harrison. Barely. It was really more competitive, but I still scored that round for Kayla Harrison. Going to the third round, again, kind of the same thing. They're trading back and forth on the feet, not really doing too much. And then at 2 minutes and 50 seconds-ish, Kayla gets a takedown, throws her to the ground, ground and pounds with elbows and punches for the rest of the round. I believe she kind of floated from, half guard, 3/4 mount, side control, just kind of floated through those positions, landed good shots, I believe she ended the fight in full mount, if I remember correctly. I don't know, it's 2 a.m. I'm forgetting some stuff. But I scored every round for Kayla Harrison. She wins via unanimous decision. Calls for the winner of the co-main event, which is what they need to do. Even though Pena dodged her, she's ducking her for Amanda Nunes. She don't want that. We'll talk about that later. Moving on. This fight was shit, to say the least. Roman Dolidze versus Kevin Holland. Round 1, I scored for Roman Dolidze. I do think, though, Kevin Holland was landing the better shots on the feet, but he got taken down just at 2 minutes 45 seconds and really made no efforts to get up. Once Kevin Holland gets down, he cannot get back up. He just stayed on bottom, had the body lock, which I don't understand why he did that. He has those long-ass limbs. Now, what ended up screwing him is, yes, he has those long-ass limbs, and he was going for an arm bar towards the end of the round, and he injured his rib. So he could not continue. For once, I agree with what Conor McGregor was tweeting out. He said, yes, you were injured, but you got to get back out there. At the very least, he could have started the second round and then, try to keep it on the feet, see how it's going. And then if he gets taken down and thinks he's going to injure his rib even more, just tap, just tap out. But, I wasn't in that situation, so I don't know what he was feeling. Hopefully, we get a speedy recovery from him, because he said he wanted to fight one more time in December, so we'll see how that goes. They'll probably give him another top 15 opponent, but kind of sucks, we didn't get to see the fight play out more, but it is what it is. Moving on, another controversial fight. Jose Aldo versus Mario Bautista. So this is a tricky fight. Kind of. It depends. If you look here, he went for 10 takedowns, and he scored none of them. Jose Aldo was to defend all the takedowns, but he had the control time, and that's what won him this fight. He just got robbed again. That's essentially what happened in this whole fight. Round 1, Mario comes out strong, gets Aldo up to the fence and holds him there. I mean, Aldo gets out, lands some good shots, but Mario was landing better strikes in the first round, the cleaner strikes in the first round, pressuring in the first round, and getting up against the fence. I gave the first round to Mario Bautista, 10-9. Second round, Aldo's looking better. I think it was a jab cut Mario Bautista towards the beginning of the fight, or might have been a left hook. I'm not sure. But Bautista gets a cut above his eye. Aldo's, putting that jab in his face, keeping him on him. But again, Mario gets him to the fence and holds him there. They break momentarily. He goes for another takedown. Aldo breaks free again. It's kind of back and forth. They just keep going back at the clinch. They'll break. Aldo will sit there on the clinch against the fence, do nothing, eventually explode, get out, land some good shots. But in that round, with all the damage Aldo did and the damage that Mario Bautista really didn't do, I think he didn't have as much control time in the second round as he did in the first. I don't think it breaks it down on the website here. Let's check and see if it does. It does not break it down. That'd be nice if it did. But I believe he had more control time in the first against the cage. So second round I gave to Aldo. So going to the third round, I had it 1-1. Aldo did some pretty good damage in round number 2. Round number 3, they go back and forth. Aldo's landing the better of the shots. But then again, Mario goes for the takedown, gets pushed up against the fence. Aldo defends. They get broken up momentarily, but again, he shoots again right away. Gets him up to the fence again. And I know the whole community's upset that Mario Bautista won this fight, but like he said in his interview, Aldo isn't doing enough. Just defending a takedown. Oh, something's going on back there. Just defending a takedown is not enough to win you the fight. You have to do damage. And I think if Aldo would have had a little bit more urgency in that third round, he could have won this fight. Because it was a split decision. Yes, split decision. One judge, I don't know what the scorecards were, but I'm assuming they gave maybe rounds 2 and 3 for Aldo. Because I could see how you could score the third round for Aldo. He was landing some good shots that round. Not that he wasn't landing good shots, but Mario, I think he had 3 minutes control time against the fence in the third round. So I thought he won the fight. Unfortunately, I wanted Aldo to win. But it's kind of weird what Aldo's doing. He comes back, so he retires, goes and does, 2 or 3 boxing matches. Then he comes back out of nowhere to the UFC. And to me, what it seems like is he's essentially just boxing, but in the UFC. I don't really think I think he threw a few kicks. I don't think it doesn't break down the strikes. That'd be nice if it did. I think he threw, I think at one point they were talking he threw 6 kicks. They used to be one of his main weapons was his kicks. So I think, he's a little bit older. I think he just wants to, he can get fights in the UFC. He doesn't really have to negotiate much of anything. So I'm sure he's making good money. So he's probably just, I'm just going to use my boxing and kicks if I have to. But he's probably just showing up for paychecks at this point. I'm sure you'd like to fight for a belt and whatnot, but he's old. He's 38 or he's 42. We don't know. Or he's 45 per the with the commentary what team was saying. But yeah, kind of weird what he's doing. But I think Mario Bautista clearly won the fight. Although I see how some people were saying Aldo won round 3. Moving up the card. The banger co-main event. Raquel Pennington versus Juliana Pena. I actually disagree with the decision. This was... The first round was kind of shit. They're just essentially trading back and forth. Pennington was landing the cleaner, crisper, more powerful shots, so I give the first round to Pennington. Second round, again, kind of trading back and forth on the feet. They get clinched up. Then Pena gets her tripped and take her down. For I think it was like a solid 3 minutes of control time in that second round. She eventually gets up to her feet, but Pena takes her back and controls her essentially for 3 minutes till the end of the round. So I give the second round to Pena. Going into the third round, Pennington gets stunned with a right hand for Pena early. Then she eventually, it was like the 2 minute 30-ish second mark. They're doing some kind of exchanges on the feet. And then, again, Pena gets tripped, takes her down. Eventually, at some point, she gets to her back again, goes for the rear naked choke. For a second, I thought she was going to get it. She doesn't end up getting it. Round ends. I give that round to Pena. So right now, I have it 2 rounds to 1 for Pena. Going into the fourth round. Fourth round, Pena gets hit with a head kick, I think it was like the first 10-15 seconds of the round. I don't know if it was a drop or a stumble. It kind of looked like a drop, but it kind of also looked like she stumbled a little bit. And then later on in that round, Pena gets dropped with a right hand. And Pennington goes for a guillotine. The ghillie. She goes for the ghillie. She doesn't end up getting it. Pena gets back up towards the end of the round, but that was a clear round for Raquel Pennington. Now, so I have it 2-2 going into the fifth round, and I believe that's kind of what the commentary team was saying as well. And going into the fifth round, there really wasn't a whole lot going on. It was back and forth, trading shots, and out of all the shots, I thought Pennington was landing the better of the shots. So I gave Pennington on the fifth round. So I had a 3-2 Pennington. That's my scorecard. Pena won via split decision. I think rounds 1 through 4 are pretty clear. So round 5 was competitive enough between the both of them that I could see you giving it to either one of them. So I don't think it's a terrible decision. But the terrible decision that Juliana Pena made was they asked her what she wanted next. That Kayla Harrison won. And she said, I want Amanda Nunes to come out of retirement. It's like, do you want her to come out of retirement so she'll beat the shit out of you again? And then you try to we need a fourth fight. This isn't over yet. We need a fourth fight. Is that what she's trying to go for? I mean, she probably thinks that she's going to make the most money if she gets Amanda Nunes to come out of retirement. That's, I'm assuming, her plan. I do not want Amanda Nunes to come out of retirement. Now, if Kayla Harrison beats Juliana Pena, yeah, that would be a good fight. And I think Nunes would win. Kayla Harrison did not look that good on the feet tonight. She showed she could go in there for 3 rounds, but I don't think she didn't look very good on the feet. She doesn't have very good entries to getting to the clinch to get her takedowns. Because most of her takedowns are throws, not like your average wrestling takedowns. Anyway. So you have a new women's bantamweight champion, Juliana Pena. Be interesting to see where that goes from here. Moving on. The main event. I was sweating bullets the entire time this fight was going on. I think my early prediction was second round KO for Alex Pereira, although he did get the TKO in the 4th round. I was like, man, are we about to get a big upset here? So, first round, Khalil did, keep his word. He didn't shoot any takedowns. Maybe he should have towards the end, but probably just gassed sooner. Oh shit, I'm tired. 2 a.m. Khalil's just landing the better of the shots in the first round. So I gave Khalil the first round. It kind of shocked me. I was surprised at how sharp he was looking in that first round. So I gave Khalil the first round. Second round, they're both landing some good shots. Khalil seems like he's slowing down a little bit because the first round he was going pretty hard. And then he kind of drops Pereira in the second round after he starts trying to press Khalil, trying to get, he would get hit and then he would want to get that back. And when he was pressing Khalil dropped him. I can't remember if it was a right hand or a left hand, straight left. It might have been a straight left. Anyway, he drops him. He takes that round. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're going to get an upset here? Then going into the third round, again, it's more of the same thing. They're trading back and forth, but you can kind of tell the tide's turning a little bit towards Alex Pereira's in his favor. Khalil's slowing down a little bit more. He doesn't have the same pop in his shots as he did in the first and second round. And then towards the end of the round, Alex was really going in on him. So I scored the third round for Alex Pereira. So going into the fourth round, I have it 2-1 for Khalil Rountree up. Going into the first round, Alex Pereira hurt Khalil really bad with some jabs, some leg kicks, doing good shots to him. And he just kept pressing. He would not let off the gas. Once he knew that he had Khalil Rountree hurt, he was not stopping. And there was a few moments where Pereira had his hands down, like essentially as like they were at his waist. And I don't think Khalil could see very well. He had a bunch of cuts on his face. I think there's 2 or 3 cuts on his face, blood going into his eyes. But he was still swinging heavy hands. Like if he would have connected clean, flush, he still could have knocked Alex Pereira out. And with him having his hands low like that, was not a good look. But towards the end, you could tell, like I said, I think I didn't get the exact time, but I want to say it was like a solid 3 minutes of Alex Pereira pretty much just beating the shit out of Khalil Rountree. Just nonstop pressure. I would mix in the leg kicks occasionally, but just, keep pressuring him, keep hitting him, and then finally he gets him up against the cage. You can tell it's towards the end of the round, too. I think it was maybe so it was 4 minutes 32 seconds. So he only had 28 seconds left in the round. You could tell Khalil was wanting to find a way out. And I don't blame him. He's literally getting beat the shit up for 3 minutes straight, essentially. But Pereira digs a couple hard body shots and then hits him, I think it was with the right hand. Khalil drops to the ground. I don't think that really knocked him down or out. I think it just, he hit it and then that was his way out. Fell over, shelled up. Kind of like a lot of Khalil Rountree's opponents have done in the past. But great fight. It was enjoyable. Pereira showed that he could fight through the adversity a little bit. I hate to elevate people off of losses, but I feel like Khalil showed that he definitely deserves to be in the top 5 of the light heavyweight division. I think he beats Jamal Hill. I think he beats Yuri Prohaska. Jamal Hill was in the crowd yawning like it was boring. Like, dude, this guy made it to the 4th round, and you got knocked out in the first round cold. At least Khalil Rountree was still awake. He was not out cold. Good fight. They're kind of asking him about what he wants to do next and everything. He said he likes to stay at 205. He feels good in that division. He feels good at that weight. So it's kind of confusing because you have Magomed Ankalaev, who deserved the title shot over Khalil Rountree, but he's scheduled to fight at the end of this month versus Alexander Rakic. So I'm favoring Magomed Ankalaev to win that fight. But let's say he doesn't. Let's say Rakic wins. Then that's really the only person that you could give to Alex Pereira next at light heavyweight. I can't remember who. I know. Let's take the light heavyweight rankings. I'm going to make a video about that. I'm going to make a fights to make video. But it's going to be sucky. Because if Magomed Ankalaev loses, it's going to be confusing. What do we do? I'm saying this right now. I think Magomed Ankalaev is going to beat Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira is getting older. He's 37 years old. Tail end of his career. I think Magomedov Ankalaev would destroy Khalil Rountree faster than Pereira did. Pereira was even losing. He lost the first 2 rounds. I think he's probably going to finish Pereira on the feet. I don't think he's going to take him down. I really don't think he's going to use much of the grappling against Pereira. But that'll be a good fight. Hopefully, if he gets through Alexander Rakic, we'll see that fight. But, yeah, that's all I got. What did you guys think of these fights? Let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys are subscribed if you're not already. Leave a like on this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.